What's up, Edgar? How are you?
I'm great, brother. Pleasure to be here on a Friday morning for me. It's 10 a.m. PST, and I wouldn't want it either way to be here right there with you, brother, to share a message and impact other people's lives. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
No, I'm excited. It's good to have you. Briefly, you talked about you moving to California. So, how is California treating you, Edgar? How are you?
That's a loaded question, right? I would say, they say, well, paying the high taxes is worth the weather, right? And I agree. The sun is beautiful, the beaches are beautiful, the community is amazing. So San Diego, California is treating me right so far because I just came from Texas, and Texas, as you know, the sun could be a little, it can sting a little bit sometimes, right? So I guess, the paying the high taxes is worth the weather so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll admit it. I live in Texas. We love it here in Texas, even though it's hot and it burns our skins, but we still love it. So anyway,
Yeah.
mm, Edgar, so you are on a mission to help people, and I'm not just talking about people. You are helping professionals, high achievers to scale their income. Why is this important to you, Edgar?
Yeah, I would say that it's very important because sometimes we get in our own mindset, depending on how we grew up or what community we're a part of, that we feel like wealth is not possible, wealth is not achievable, maybe wealth is not for us, or making a lot of money is not for us, right? It's just for a certain demographic of people or a certain class of people. And for me, I went from someone growing up in Brooklyn, where statistically speaking, most people don't get a lot of opportunities where I'm at right now to now making multiple six figures on track for seven figures, being my own boss, controlling my schedule, traveling the world, going wherever I want to go. I don't even remember the last time I even clocked in or clocked out. I forgot what that was even like, right? And the fact that I forgot that, it's kind of like, wow, I'm not special, right? I just took action and I just got information. That's all it was. So for me, it's like if I was blessed with an opportunity, if I was blessed with a life-changing, altering part of my life, why can't I do it for somebody else? Because people deserve to win big, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. I like what you said. You said you took action and you acted on information because that was going to be my next question. How did you do it? What action did you take? What specifically helped you to get on this journey that you are on today?
Absolutely. Great question. I pretty much what happened is I got introduced into a financial services slash sales opportunity. And sometimes when we think of sales or we think of finances, we think of two things. Finances, we think of these big dogs, big wigs, Merrill Lynch's, the Edward Jones, the Charles Schwab's. You got to get a master's and a bachelor's and all this stuff. And then sales, you think of the people door to door trying to sell you like, a new window or a vacuum, right? But then
Mhm.
when you think about it, you actually put them two together. Financial services is one of the highest paying industries out of all industries. First is finances, then it's tech, and then it's real estate. And then when you incorporate sales on top of that, sales is input equals output. It's you get paid by your value, not your time. You combine the two, you're providing value and you get paid for your value. It's just a formula for success. So I got introduced into finances, I got licensed, and I was able to put my skill set and my talent and my worth to work. And that's how I ultimately ended up tripling my income by getting part of a platform that can make that a reality for myself.
So when you say financial services, what exactly do you mean, Edgar?
Absolutely. So pretty much in financial services, we do everything from building wealth, preserving wealth, showing people how to pay less in taxes, estate planning, wills and trusts, legacy planning, showing people how to become their own banks, showing people how to leave generational wealth. Because the biggest problem right now is people leave a lot of generational debt. And it's not because of our fault. It's not because of our parents or our great grandparents. It's just we weren't taught. All we were taught was work hard, earn your money, pay your bills. But then we forget about the next generation. So I show people everything about how to establish wealth, how to build wealth, how to preserve wealth, and then how to pass it on the right way, and then retirement and pension planning as well. Those are all the topics that Americans want, but they just don't know how to make it happen, and or they're too afraid to ask or even have a conversation.
So I love everything about how because that's a blueprint that will help people to, go through the steps and achieve their goal. And I'm thinking about Dave Ramsey here when you are saying financial services. He has these 7 steps that he calls baby steps. I'm hoping you have something that you are going to share with us because you said you want people to build wealth and transfer wealth to the next generation. So, what's the first step? How does that process look like,
For
Edgar?
sure. Yeah, so step number one is, first of all, and I say this all the time, right? The most important thing is you got to find out where you are first. Find out where you are first, and then you can create a guideline or a game plan to see where you want to go afterwards. It's kind of like a GPS, right? When you have a GPS, you got to start from point A, and then it shows you the roadmap to point B or point E. So first step that I tell people is create a budgeting plan. Create a budget. Whether it's with me, whether it's with yourself, create a budget. Once you can create a budget, you can find out, okay, how much are you netting every single month? Because yes, you're bringing in money, but input equals output, right? What's the output? Where's your money going? Find out how much you're netting. Once you find out how much you're netting, find out how much you're really saving. Once you find out how much you're really saving, find out what it takes to actually have a retirement. What kind of pension plan do you want to have? When do you want to retire? Best case, worst case. What does your pension or what does your retirement even look like? Some people want to be on a boat all day. Some people want to just travel and take their grandkids to Disney World. Some people want to be in, I don't know, the Caribbeans, right? Hanging out. So I would say budget first, find out how much you're netting, find out how much you're saving, find out what your retirement plan looks like, and then now you can start optimizing what strategies, what investments, or what opportunities can help you get there. That's what I would say would be the best start.
So it seems like I'll say, a common sense approach. And if you agree with me that it seems simplistic, how come many people don't do this, in your opinion, Edgar?
Absolutely. Well, they do. They just don't do it. They don't know how to do it because either they don't know how to do it because of two reasons. They weren't taught and they don't know who to go to. That's the two major problems. It's not that no one wants to save money. It's not that no one wants to retire. They just don't know how or who to go to. And that's when individuals like myself step in where we have a conversation, a one-on-one conversation, and the most important part about it is like they can know that at the end of the day, my goal is to get them to their goal. That's ultimately my goal, is their goal. So we have a conversation, we break down the finances, we see how much you're saving, how much you're netting, and then we can have a conversation. Hey, if you do X, Y, Z, you're gonna get one, two, three. That's very simple. So, and then also when it comes to financial services right now, I'll put it like this right here, brother. Traditional financial services is failing a lot of Americans because most financial advisors charge an arm and a leg for services, right? They charge one of three ways, either hourly, upfront, or management fees. And some people right now, because of the economy, they could barely put food on the table. So then they're gonna choose paying a financial advisor's pockets or putting bread on the table. And then number two, financial literacy isn't even being taught right now, unfortunately. Because if people understand money, who's out of business? The
Yeah.
financial advisors, the brokers. The
Yeah.
way that everything works with me is at the end of the day, we don't charge anybody anything. It's free financial services. It's free financial information. That's the number one thing. Would you rather be sold on financial information or would you rather just be educated? And 100% of people say 100% just get educated, right? So that's what I believe.
So if you are offering people free education, which by the way, I love, how do you make money, Edgar?
Absolutely great question. So very simple. Because I'm in financial services and because I'm a broker, I have access to one of the top 25, 55 plus A-rated multi-billion dollar Fortune 500 financial institutions. And the way it works is that I get compensated for client acquisition and client servicing, meaning that at the end of the day, I sit down with someone, I can show the exact same roadmap on how to build financial success, but I'm not the one managing money. I connect them to the big brokers, the Fortune 500 financial institutions. They create the game plan, and then at the end of the day, those big corporations pay me again a commission or a percentage for helping someone create a retirement plan. But guess what? Imagine this right here, brother. Like people get excited. They're like, "Wait, you just helped me create a pension plan. I'm gonna get $250,000 every year tax free for the rest of my life in the next 15 years." Yes, sure. you should deserve to get paid. I'm like, yeah, but it's not coming out of their pocket. It's coming out of the big dog's pockets, right?
Right, right, right. So you talked a lot about income streams, that people need to create multiple income streams. So what's one income stream that you would recommend to working professionals?
Absolutely. The number one income stream that I highly advise is getting into some type of sales position part-time, whether it's solar, whether it's finances, whether it's real estate. Now, out of all the ones, I highly suggest for those individuals who are ambitious, who are driven, who are looking for more right now, who are listening, to get into financial services, whether it's referral based, whether it's part-time, whether it's full-time. I have some referral partners. I had a guy right now, he's a CDL driver. He's from Texas, CDL. He just drives. He has a beautiful wife and beautiful kids. And as a referral partner, he made 4 grand with me as a referral partner, 4 grand, without even being on there, just for referring me business. I have part-time brokers who are making 36 grand part-time with me. And then those eventually who start part-time in financial services with us right here, brother, once they get their license, they start doubling, triple their income, they go full-time and they buy back their time. So I would say the number one step is first of all, see what kind of sales position you can get into because a 9 to 5 is can only pay you so much. So what else can you do on the side? But then out of all the sales opportunities, find the thing that's going to pay you the most and can allow you to solve the most problems, which is financial services. Once you get into financial services and you have a license, find a good mentor, find a good broker, find a good platform where you can get paid to use that license, that tool correctly and get the most out of it. That's the biggest thing that I would say right now, especially from what I'm seeing and how many people I talk to every single day, brother.
Oh, that's good. So, Edgar, you are big on what you call the 5F formula. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. Faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun. Ultimately, what happens is we get so caught up in the day to day about can we pay the bills? Can we put food on the table? What's happening with our family? What's happening with our loved ones? And unfortunately, we tend to miss the mark. We all have core values, but sometimes our core values get mixed up with day to day activities. And when you follow the fulfillment formula, the 5 F's, faith, family, fitness, finance, and fun, your life's gonna be that much better. Number one, faith. If you don't believe in something, you'll fall for anything.
Mm.
So what is your truth? What do you believe in? What is your higher power? What keeps you accountable? Who can you go to at night when you're alone? And what kind of conversation can you have with your higher power, right? That's number one. That can keep you grounded because this world, it's worldly. There's a lot of worldly stuff right here, brother, as we know, that can distract us. Number two, family. Why is it we're even doing this? We're doing it for our family. But that
Absolutely.
at the exact same time, let's not neglect our family because we're doing it for them. So remember, money's gonna come, money's gonna go, but your family, you're gonna have them once in a lifetime. So cherish your family, have fun with them. The next one is fitness. You have to take care of your health. Health is wealth. I guarantee you right now, brother, how many people right now, they probably have all the money in the world, but they're in the hospital right now and they're battling terminal illness, they're battling cancer, they have critical illness, chronic illness, and they wish they could trade all the money in the world to get their health back. So take care of your health. Health is wealth. And the next one is going to be, well, faith, family, fitness, finances.
Mm.
Finances, I say, hey, at the end of the day, unfortunately, it takes money. All right. It takes money to have
Uh,
a good diet, to have take your family on vacation. So you don't have to be the richest person in the world. You don't have to be the wealthiest person in the world, but don't live paycheck to paycheck. Put yourself in a situation where you can at least, feel in control. And the last one is fun. Ultimately, fun comes from doing the other ones because people find fun in distractions, in vices, in, kind of like the fake stuff, right?
right.
But fun is about fulfillment. Fun is when everything else is taken care of and you can breathe. So that's the fulfillment formula right there, brother.
Oh, that's so good, Edgar. I appreciate you sharing that with us. So let's take a step back and go to the beginning. You grew up in Brooklyn, and how did you start your career? What was your first job like? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so very simple, growing up in Brooklyn, luckily I was part of a pretty good school community, if that makes sense, in Bushwick. I grew up in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and my first jobs as a teenager was doing like, you know, stuff like youth programs and after school programs here and there. Just getting used to having the responsibility of taking care of others or getting the responsibility of like showing up somewhere, right? And getting a paycheck. I remember my first paycheck, it was nothing, but I saw it and I said, wow. And then I give it to my mom. I said, "Here, mom, you probably know how to use it better than I do, right? I know you got the groceries and all that stuff. Here you go, right?" And
Right.
right after high school, I had work ethic. I knew how to work, but
Mm.
I said, do I just want to work? What do I want to do with my life? And that's why I enlisted in the military. Once I enlisted in the military, I fell in love with the military. I did that. And then after that, I became a turbine technician after 4 years. And as a wind turbine technician, I made great money, but I had no time. And then that's when my worlds collided, where I realized I had all the money in the world at that point in time as a
Mhm.
young man, but I didn't have the most important thing, which is my time. So, yeah, those were some of the positions that I've had in the past before getting to this amazing opportunity in financial services.
No, that's so good. So, what was your, maybe I'll call it, the biggest fear when you left the 9 to 5 world to start your business?
Yeah, my biggest failure, it was failure, right? My
Fear,
biggest
fear,
failure.
fear. I said fear.
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest failure right there, brother, was, I was so, how do I put the word? I was ready to quit. I wanted to quit. But remember, guys, you want to make sure that you're prepared for when you do quit because once you're your own boss, no one's going to tell you when to clock in and clock out. No one's going to tell you when to be somewhere and when not to be somewhere, right? So, my biggest failure was when I got into entrepreneurship and when I became my own boss. There was times in my business where I didn't have income for a good while and I was tapping into my savings.
Wow.
And because at that point in time, I set up my foundation, but it was still a little rocky, right? Because I'm still learning the process in my early 20s and my mid 20s to be my own boss and build a business and manage other people at the exact same time as well. And as you know, managing other people is not easy. And then having a book of business isn't easy, right? Especially when you have that kind of responsibility. So there was points in times where I didn't have income because of my selfishness or because I was so hungry and ready to go to the next level, but I wasn't working on this. And because I was tapping into my savings, there was points in time where I'm like, man, like, am I gonna have to go back into the 9 to 5 world, but I'm not ready for it. And luckily, and by the grace of God, of course, and he was with me the entire time, I
Mhm.
got through it after a couple months without any income, almost 4 to 5 months with no income, just tapping into my savings. All of a sudden, my business started exploding again.
That's good. That's
Stay
good.
committed. So
Good.
that's one of my biggest
Good.
failures.
Good to hear that, Edgar. So now you were in the military, right? I want to hear from you. What are some leadership principles from the military that help you in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess some of the leadership principles that really stood out to me, number one, is you have to become a better version of yourself every single day to even lead other Marines.
Mm.
That's number one. And we say all the time, honor, courage, commitment. Honor. You have to have pride in what you're doing, whatever it is. You have to represent the company. You have to represent the organization. You have to represent the mission. So I had a lot of honor. I loved being in uniform, right? I love the Marine Corps, you know.
Right.
The only reason why I'm not in the military is because God said so, right? It was up to God, not up to me, basically, right? If you know the story, and a lot of people who are listening, a lot of people that serve in the Marine Corps, they know the story. But honor, that's number one. Have honor in what you're doing. Honor your family. Honor your business. Honor your work. Honor your community. Honor the task. Courage. You have to step up to the plate. We talked about this, brother. People want a good life. People want change, but they don't want to change. That's
Mm.
the difference. People want change. They don't want to change. You need courage. Get in the ring. Get punched in the face. How do you become a good boxer? You got to get punched a couple times, right? So
Absolutely.
courage, step up to the plate, and commitment. Be committed. Stay the course. Sometimes too many people, they get distracted too easily. They want this, they want this, they want this, they want this. What's the next new trend? What's the next new business? What's the next new crypto coin, right? What's the next new meme coin? You get distracted and all of a sudden you're like, man, nothing's working. But guess what? You're a jack of all trades and a master of none. The
Mm.
reason why I stayed the course and why I was so successful during those 4 to 5 months where I had no income coming in from the business and I was, panicking a little bit because I stayed the course. I was committed to the mission. It's mission over commission. I got into financial services to help people, to change people's lives. It was never really about me. I was blessed to get financially, to get put in a good position income wise. But because I was about the mission, not the commission, all of a sudden it started coming back in. So stay committed to the task, stay committed to your role. Those are three big ones. And then also one more right here, brother, is at the end of the day, you have to have pride. Pride in
Mm.
what you do. In the military, we had uniform inspections. They felt like it was every other Monday, right? It's like it's the same uniform, brother. Like it's not gonna change, Sergeant, right? But you have to take care of your uniform. And we have a thing called Irish pennants, right? You know what an Irish pennant is, brother? Irish pennant?
No.
Irish pennant are like the little strings that stick out of like your clothes. You
Yeah.
got to be able to cut them, those little Irish pennants. And
Okay.
when we get inspection, they will come and they will look at our clothes and be like, a little string, you
That's
fail,
got it.
right? You got to cut it. So
Mm.
have pride because if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you do good. So those are the big ones right there. And I can go on and on right there, brother, but those are the major ones that just popped out right now.
That's so good, Edgar. Honor, courage, commitment, plus pride. Be proud of what you do. I love the way you put it. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So as we are wrapping it, I want to also learn what are some common mistakes that you think people are making when it comes to building wealth?
Absolutely. So the biggest common mistake most are doing right now is they're giving up power, they're giving up control of their future to big corporations that they're working for, right? So it's the biggest one right now that we see is, hey, get a 401k, get an IRA, and you'll be fine. But as we know right now, Robert Kiyosaki has a book called Who Stole My Pension? What's happening is people are working 20, 30, 40 years. They're relying on this corporation to take care of them. But then when you get to the end of the road, you didn't understand how you're fine. You didn't understand where your retirement plan even is or what you wanted from it. And you give up control. In a 401k, in an IRA, your money's in the market. Now, yes, there's something called compound interest, but people tend to forget how percentages work. If I give you $1,000 and the market goes down 50%, you're at 500. But now they're at 500. If the market goes back up 50%, I guarantee you a majority of people say, oh, I'm back at 1,000. Well, you're incorrect. You're at 750. So 50 down, 50 up, you didn't make your money back. You have to grow 100% just to make your money back. So people tend to forget that. So you give too much control to these big corporations and they go, but wait, they're matching me. They're giving me 2, 3, 4, 5%. Great. Nothing's ever free in life, right? Why do you think they're matching you? Ask those questions. What's the reason? Or hey, when you want access to your own money, why do you get penalized?
Mm.
10% early withdrawal penalty, state and federal taxes on top of that. Do you think it's fair, brother, that you get penalized for trying to touch your own money?
Absolutely not.
So I text people, I say, okay, great. Well, they say, well, I don't pay tax on it. I don't pay it at all, right? Great. When has procrastination ever really benefited us in anything we do? So if you don't pay taxes now, you're gonna have to pay Uncle Sam in the future. Do you think taxes are going down or taxes are going up? And the
No.
majority of people say they're going up. So if that's the case, it doesn't make any sense for hardworking Americans to put a good chunk of their money into an account where number one, they have no control over it. Number two, they could lose it all tomorrow. We see what happened in 2008 with the big market crash with the real estate bubble. And then number three, doesn't make any sense that in the future, you're going to have to pay a higher tax rate on an uncertain amount on your retirement plan. The average retirement account balance by 65 today in America between 65 and 70 is 180 to $200,000. And that's before taxes. So imagine that. If the average retirement plan is about 180K to 250K, 200K, 250K before taxes, what do you really get? And I sit with people, brother, and it's really sad. I have a guy right now, he's 59 years old. He lost $60,000 in his 401k at one point in time, like this. He wanted to retire by 62. That's gone.
Yeah.
You can now, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like I'm seeing people all the time. They put their money in one thing, all their eggs in one basket. They're giving up control, and then when it comes time to retire, they go, "Wait, what happened? You gave up control." Guys, whoever's listening, whoever's watching this, do not give up control of your future to a big corporation. Start learning about finances. Start learning about different investment strategies. Have conversation with financial professionals like myself that can give you other options, and then you make an educated decision. I was there at one point in time, brother, where I'm with a job, I'm with a corporation, and then they're like, okay, here's your 401k plan, here's a retirement plan. How much do you want to put in? What kind of percentage? And I'm just like this. We're like, and I'm like, it's like a test, like an exam. And then we're like, what are you doing? You doing three? You doing four? All right,
Yeah.
let me do five. Let me beat these guys. Let me put 5%. And then you just turn it in. And then you never hear from the 401k company ever again. You just get some statements and you can't even, they don't teach you how to read it. So biggest misconception right there, brother. Don't give up control to the big corporations. Don't give up control to the traditional retirement account strategies because statistically speaking, you're not going to get what you want. So that's another one. And then also, savers are losers. I learned the hard way because of inflation. Inflation is outpacing what you get paid in the bank. You get paid 0 to 1% in the bank account. So if 90% of people are spending 90% of their time at a job earning a wage that doesn't keep up with inflation, and they take 90% of their hard-earned money and they put it in the bank, yes, it feels safe in the bank, but you're safely going broke because you're losing purchasing power. As you know, brother, like $100 today does not equal $100 a couple years ago. Can we agree?
Absolutely. No, it's not.
So if we just keep doing the same thing, we give up money to our big corporations, we put money in a 401k or IRA, and then we just save our money, it's a recipe for disaster, brother. So those are the big ones right there that everybody and their grandma does that they need to definitely have a conversation with someone like myself so we can give them different options.
So finally, Edgar, what's your advice? I know you've said a lot, but we need your advice for people that are listening and they are also thinking about building their own side business. How can
Absolutely.
they turn this side also into full-time income? What do they need to do?
Absolutely. So the number one thing you should do right now is if you've never built a business, if you never got into entrepreneurship, or maybe you have a business, or maybe you are an entrepreneur, but you're not finding real success. Number one is reach out to me, DM me, have a conversation with me. I'll give you my phone number, I'll give you my email. In my Instagram bio, I have a link tree. Have a there's one that says become a partner and learn more about what I do. Get connected with me, have a conversation, and I can tell you step by step what does it take to build wealth. Last night I had a conversation, I had a meeting with a beautiful couple out of Arizona, and one guy he's a mechanic, and she's a tax professional, right? And just having a conversation with them, they told me their income goal. I told them what could be possible partnering up with us. They would literally quadruple their income just with a couple different switches. So reach out to me. You don't have to figure this out by yourself. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people do is they try to figure this stuff out by themselves, right? They have pride. And pride is good, but ego is not your amigo, right? Also, right? Ego is not your amigo,
Oh, amigo. Yeah.
So
I
reach
love
out to me.
that.
I'm gonna give you a step-by-step game plan on how to add an extra hustle, how to add an extra income, how to make an extra $36,000 a month, how to add an extra 50K to 150K towards your income, and ultimately how to be your own boss, how to buy back your time. Trust me, I would give all the secrets right now, but it takes a while. Connect with me one on one, and we'll make it happen.
No, absolutely. And I want them to connect with you. I'm going to leave your links on my show notes, but I also want to give you the opportunity to let them know maybe it's your Instagram handle or website. Just go ahead and say it so that people can go there immediately and find you and connect with you to continue their journey.
Absolutely. The easiest one you guys can connect with me that you're definitely gonna get a hold of me is my Instagram is Zavala, Zavala underscore Edgar, Edgar 25. So Zavala underscore Edgar 25 on Instagram. You'll find everything about me. I share everything. You can look back at who I am, who I have become on my Instagram as well. And then in my bio, click on the link, and there's way more resources as well about who I am, what I'm doing. the opportunity that I'm a part of, the community I'm a part of. And if you want to become a partner, click on the link and it'll break everything down for you. The information is all there. So that's the easiest one right there on Instagram. I do have a link. I do have a LinkedIn. I do have a Facebook, but you'll get me on Instagram.
Oh, that's so good. I'm also gonna find you, connect with you so that we can continue to collaborate. I've
Let's
enjoyed
make it happen, brother. Yeah.
I've enjoyed this time with you, Edgar. This is awesome. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for educating my listeners. Financial services, financial planning, financial management, all these topics, they are very, very important. And I like the 5 Fs that you share with us. It's been awesome. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
All right, take
Pleasure.
care, my friend.